Hi, welcome back. We're ready for the second set of our financial statements. We're going to talk about the statement of changes in owner's equity. If you picked up off the last video and you were about ready to hear me talk about this number and finalize it, and I was talking about some information in the book about 50% and 47%, I was talking about how it's a good thing to make 50 cents on the dollar on every sale you make. I saw that got cut off. It was 15 minutes worth of video, so I wasn't going to go in and redo the whole thing just for like 2 seconds. So if you're looking back and you're looking in your book and wondering how that ended, that's what I was going to say. So without further ado, let's keep going here. The next section is pretty short, so I'll try to keep it short with you. We want to add a sheet, so I want to keep all this information together. So I have my income statement here, and I'm going to go down to the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to hit plus. If my screen looks like I have to move it a little bit, I don't have enough room to hit it. I have so much stuff at the bottom of my screen. There we go. Now I can hit plus, and I'm in a new safe space, ready to make my next statement. If you want to name down at the bottom, if you'll name your first one income statement, so I'm going to double click down here and name it income statement. That way when I go back in and open this up, I can know which one I'm looking at, and I can have quick and easy access, and if I want to copy and paste to remake another one, I can do that. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make a statement of changes in owner's equity. And it's convenient that I came back here because I want to copy some things. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to come here and select about to there, and I'm going to Command C because I'm in a Mac. You might do Control C or right click C. That's up to you. And then I'm going to go back to my sheet 2, the new sheet that I created, and I'm going to paste it in there. I'll use Command V because I'm using a Mac. You can do right click, you can do Control C, whatever the choice you want to do to paste it in there. Excuse me. So the next thing I want to do is just change up a few things. Repair It Now is still the company we're working with. Income statement is no longer what we're working with. We're going to label this statement of changes in owner's equity. All right. And then I'm going to leave the 4-month ended July 31st, 2014. We're just going to leave that right like it is. We no longer need this percentage of sales and anything like that, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that information. And the next thing I'm going to do is get rid of all of this information as well. We don't need any of it. The numbers are nothing. So up to this point, we have a blank slate. I'm also going to delete column D. In order to do that, I'm going to right click it, or you could right click and delete it. I want to hit control and delete it, but it looks like it's not going to let me. Interesting situation we have here. Maybe if I go to format, edit, interesting. There we go. Apparently I had to click off, click back on because I did the same thing. I just clicked off, clicked back on, and now I'm able to delete it. So I'm going to delete this column because I really only need 3 in this next set. Okay, and there's a couple things that are going to happen here. Again, I'm going to expand row A, or column A, sorry, column A, and I'm going to type in, let's see, we'll call it, is it Regina Delgado? Nope, Michael Delgado. I'm sorry, Michael Delgado. We're going to go Michael Delgado, Michael, Delgado, capital, and we're going to put a date with this. And this is the amount that we started with when we very first started our company, or first started for this year. So it's going to be for, looks like August 1st, 2013. And whatever our amount would be over here, that's what we would put in there. And I'll give you that amount here in a second. We're not going to worry about amounts again to begin with. And again, we're going to keep moving on. This middle column is just going to be there. I'm going to expand this so it fits. They like you to have 3 columns in this set. So the next thing that I'm going to put in is net loss, because we had a net loss in this case. All right. And then the final thing I'm going to add in is Michael Delgado Capital. I'm going to hit enter, but I'm going to go ahead and edit that. And this time I want July, the same as the matching date up here at the top, July 31st, 2014. Okay. I noticed it says July 31. I should probably put an ST on that. I'll go ahead and fix that on my income statement here in a minute. Just makes it sound better. So this is the scenario, or this is what we're working with. We go ahead and we write down, or we type in the amount that we started with in capital at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the accounting period, depending on if you're doing a month or a year. In this case, we're going to assume a year. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my balance sheet number, and you can find this on page 199. You can find this on, let's see, I got to go back a couple pages, it looks like. Nope, 199 is the page. That's where they have the capital. So that number is, looks like $2,000. I was looking at the drawing. $2,000. So we're going to put, it's kind of like we're starting a Monopoly game, I suppose. We're going to put in $2,000. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. Now we have to identify what our net loss was. So from the previous exercise, what was our net loss back in the income statement? We bring that number over to this spot right here. That number was, oh, here, I'm going to use this way. I'm using the book, and I shouldn't be. I should be using the income statement that I made. It is $2,927. Guess what's going to happen here? Nothing good, I guarantee you. So let's come over here and let's go to our sheet here, and we're going to go ahead and put in $2,978. I believe that was the official number. Yep, 2,900. Oh, 27. I wanted to make it more. I guess I'm human. What can you say? All right, so now we're going to do a little math. Typically, when there's a net income situation, we can add these, but there's not. So we have to subtract. So we're going to do a little formula. We're just going to go equals. We'll click on the beginning capital, and we'll subtract our net loss and get our ending capital, which is not good. We're in the negative. But there are ways to work around it, and we'll talk about how we adjust in the balance sheet when we go to make a balance sheet. But that is as simple as it is in making a statement of changes in owner's equity. Okay, so not anything else to it. I'm going to add, looks like that one had dollar signs. I'm going to make sure they all have dollar signs. And I'm going to decrease my decimal because I like simple numbers. Although, if we did have change, which we haven't had yet, when we do have change, we'll want to make sure that change shows. But for now, we'll keep it simple, and we'll leave it at zeros. You don't typically have multiple things in here in your statement of changes in owner's equity. It's just a simple math issue. And in your textbook, if you look on page, it is 203 in your textbook, they do it a little differently. Their little math setup that they do is just kind of off to the side, and they add drawing in there as well. I don't like the style that they're doing right here. They try to do math within their balance sheet, and I think that looks really messy. I like a separate statement of changes in owner's equity to show the difference or the change in my owner's equity or the equity that I gained throughout the period. So in this case, I've actually lost equity. Now that equity could have been lost because we have more liabilities or we had more expenses. Something with our expenses and liabilities has increased, and we are showing a loss here today. So we really need to boost sales. We really need to maybe look at, maybe we have too many assets. Maybe our assets are overloading us. You know, we may have a bunch of them, but we may not technically own a bunch of them because just looking at it here in our capital, we have no equity. Remember, equity shows the ownership of the assets that you have. So we definitely, in this case, would need to improve that situation. I am done with this exercise. That's all for Statement of Changes in Owner's Equity. Please look for an assignment to go with this, and we'll go from there. All right, thank you.